Hello everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Salamangreat. And Salamangreat is a fire link deck for Cyberse monsters that's been in the game for a while now. They just got a bunch of new support, and the deck has a new skill and it functions very smoothly. There are a lot of free cards in this box, so it's relatively cheap and easy to build, and that's why I want to kind of highlight it. I'm presenting more of a budget list for people who new to Salamangreat, don't really know the deck that well. So let's take a look at the list and I'll see what we can do with it. The skill is called Soul Burning Link. You can only use this skill's second effect once per duel. You cannot normal or special summon monsters except Salamangreat monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck. During your opponent's turn, you can only use a Link 4 monster as material once per turn. Okay, so you summon Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix, you link it off during your opponent's turn, you blow up their whole field, and then you win the game. Easy enough. Send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then add one Salamangreat of Fire and one Salamangreat Burning Shell from outside your deck to your hand. Add 3 copies of Salamangreat Balinx and Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf from outside your deck to your extra deck. If only your opponent controls a card, you can also take one Salamangreat monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or play it face down. Its battle position can be changed. Okay. Being able to play an extra monster from your deck in Star Seraphs or in Lyrilusc can be very powerful and is warranted because those decks are objectively not very powerful decks. You know, they're inconsistent, they don't have too many monsters, and they don't have a lot of great ways to special summon themselves. I know Lyrilusc has like a few, but it's not like a competitive deck. Salamangreat is different. Salamangreat is like a rogue-ish deck in the real game. It's a deck that has a lot of different ways to extend. There's a lot of generic Cyberse support that's very, very good for it. Salamangreat does not need an extra monster. This skill is too powerful. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you that right now. I had no problems really with the Dragonic Contact skill because the cards that are available to heroes right now are not good. Salamangreat does not have their entire deck, but the cards that Salamangreat does have are still very good at climbing and at special summoning, and they do not need an extra monster. That is ridiculous. So I'm predicting that in 2 KC Cups, Salad will get some sort of like limit, like they did before. And then 3 KC Cups from now, the skill will be gutted because it's just unworkable. There's nothing they could do to balance giving Salamangreat an extra card, especially when they're going second and they can just blow the field with Pyro Phoenix to win the game. Okay, so with that in mind, let's take a look at the main deck. We are playing 2 copies of Ghost Warner and Moonlit Shield because it is in the anniversary box. Discard it when your opponent special summons a monster. That monster's effects are negated this turn, and if they get sent to the graveyard, or if it leaves the field, its controller takes damage equal to half its original attack. Pretty good. Salamangreat Gazelle, Fire Cyberse Monster, level 3. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to your graveyard except Gazelle, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Salamangreat card from your deck to the graveyard except Gazelle. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, it is a Salamangreat card, not a Salamangreat monster. That is important for this deck because we will typically use Salamangreat Gazelle to send our Salamangreat Transcendence to the graveyard so that we can recover it and use it during our opponent's turn. Very good. We're playing Droll and Lockbird, also in the anniversary box. During either player's turn, if your opponent activates, adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of this turn, neither player can add a card from their deck to their hand. Solid. Salamangreat Jaguar. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. If you control a Salamangreat Link monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat monster in your graveyard except Jaguar, shuffle this target into the deck, and then if you do, special summon this card to your zone a Salamangreat Link monster points to. You can only use this effect once per turn. So Jaguar is free extension from the graveyard. You can set this card with your skill and then link it off, and then you can use it again by reviving it. You can also mill it with Gazelle if you need to. You can pitch it with your mirror. You can get it into the graveyard a bunch of different ways. You can Xyz summon your Mirage Stallion and special summon it from the deck if you want to. So, great card. Probably only necessary to have at 1, but I like having it at 2 just to make sure that I have options. Also, this card is free. It's a Soul Burner level up card. Salamangreat Spinny, this is a card you would want to play at 3. I currently only have 2 of them. If you control a Salamangreat card, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack until the end of this turn. If you control a Salamangreat monster other than the Salamangreat Spinny and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Great. So if you have this card in your hand, it's an easy way to get it on the field as an extra special summon. And then you combine it with your Gazelle to make your Mirage Stallion, and that just wins you the game. So, excellent. Salamangreat Foxy, we are playing this card at 1. You can set this card with your skill and then special summon it from the graveyard, or you can mill it with Gazelle and then revive it from the graveyard if you need to make a rank 3. It's a level 3 that can special summon itself from the graveyard by discarding a Salamangreat card. And then you can pop a spell or trap on the field. Salamangreat Mole, a level 1 Fire Cyburst. During your main phase, if you have Link summoned this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone a Link monster points to. If you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 5 Salamangreat cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 2 cards. Decent option. It is another free card. It's super rare that drops from the event. I feel like playing it at 1 is safe. It's just a good option, I think. Probably the weakest card in the deck, just because you have to have Link Summon already. It's not that uncommon of an occurrence, but it means you can't really use it as a starter. You don't really need a starter, I guess, with the skill, but it has no grave effects other than its ability to draw cards next turn. So you don't want to toss it with the skill, which means it can be kind of bricky if you open it and no other Salamangreat cards, but that's so unlikely. Yeah, no, this card's fine. This card's good. Play it at 1. Salamangreat Falco. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Salamangreat spell or trap in your graveyard and set it to your field. Okay, so typically what you will do. You summon your Salamangreat of Fire, which you get from the skill. Draw your Gazelle. Link Salamangreat of Fire into Balinks. Then you can special summon Gazelle from your hand because Salamangreat of Fire went to the graveyard. Gazelle mill the Transcendence, and then you will either use your Foxy or your Spinny to go with Gazelle into your Mirage Stallion. Mirage Stallion, detach 1 material to special summon a Salamangreat from deck. You special summon the Falco. Falco link with the Balinks into Sunlight Wolf, and then Falco sets your Transcendence face down. Then you have the Transcendence during your opponent's turn. So yeah, that's the typical combo. Salamangreat Foul. If a Salamangreat monster except Foul is normal or special summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Great. Excellent card to open. Enough said. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can send 1 Salamangreat card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 set card your opponent controls. That set card cannot be activated this turn. That is not once per turn. So if you can keep pitching cards, then you can keep turning off your opponent's effects, which is very useful. Salamangreat Mirror. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it for your normal draw, you can reveal this card and special summon it from your hand, which means that you can special summon it as a free card if you draw it off of your circle. If this card is in your hand, you can discard 1 other Salamangreat card to special summon this card from your hand. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Mirror once per turn. Solid card. Good option. Yeah, you'll typically play this card off of discarding another card like your Jack Jaguar, and then just setting up your board. And you can also, if you don't use Falco's effect to set Transcendence, Falco has another effect where it can return a Salamangreat on your field to your hand to special summon itself. And your target is always Mirror, because when Mirror comes back, it'll just come back right onto the field. And it's like it turns 1 monster into 2, which is very, very useful to you. But you have to not use Falco's effect to set Transcendence, which this particular version of Salamangreat really wants to do. So that's a less of a combo that you're going to play in this deck, but it's a good combo for you to learn, because if you want to learn how to play Salamangreats, that's how you play them. Alright. Salamangreat Pero, I am playing this at 1. That is probably a mistake, but it hasn't cost me anything yet. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. If this card is special summon, you can target one Salamangreat monster in your graveyard. This card's attack becomes that target's attack permanently. You can tribute this card to gain 2,000 life points. Cool. Useful card. Gets you 2,800 attack points if your Pyro Phoenix got destroyed. And, yeah, protects you from being killed. Yeah, it's not a problem to have a level 5 in your deck that can't normal or special summon itself when you have a skill that literally sets it from your deck. And you can also play it off of your Burning Shell. So, yeah, good card. Salamangreat Transcendence. Target one Salamangreat Link monster you control. Special summon one Salamangreat Link monster with the same name from your deck using that monster you control as your material. This is treated as a Link summon. So you take your Pyro Phoenix, you link into Pyro Phoenix, and you win the game during your opponent's turn. Salamangreat Circle. Activate one of these effects. Add a Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand, or target a Salamangreat monster you control that was Link summoned using a monster with its same name as material. That monster is unaffected by monster effects this turn, except its own. So, Circle will draw you your Mirror, your Gazelle, your Spinning, whatever you need. And then, once you've got your Transcendence set, you can relink into Sunlight Wolf and draw Circle from your graveyard. Then you set Circle, and Circle will protect your Pyro Phoenix from monster effects, which is pretty good. Salamangreat Sanctuary. If you link summon a Salamangreat Link monster, you can use one Salamangreat Link monster you control with the same name as the entire material. So, if you have Pyro Phoenix, even though it requires 2 fire monsters that are linked 4 total, you can just relink into Pyro Phoenix really easily. And then an effect that doesn't matter. Cool. Just play this at 1, you search it off of your Balinks, and you have 3 Balinks. Rising Fire. This card is always treated as a Salamangreat card. If you control no monsters, activate this card by targeting one fire monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and equip it with this card. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can banish one monster on the field. The equipped monster gains 500 attack, and it dies if your Rising Fire leaves the field. Okay, so the reason why we are playing this card is because we have a cost for the skill to discard a Salamangreat from our hand. So if you open Rising Fire, then you turn the cost of discarding a Salamangreat to add Salamangreat Fire into a benefit, because then you can immediately Rising Fire and get that monster back. It's really powerful. That's if you go first. If you go second, then you're going to set a monster anyway. Cool. Great effect. Fury of Fire. We are playing this at 1. I have not seen any use for this card yet, but I'm sure it's good. This card is always treated as a Salamangreat card. Special summon up to 2 Salamangreat monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard in defense position, but their effects are negated. Also, for the rest of the turn after this effect resolves, you can only special summon from the extra deck 1 time. You can only activate 1 Fury of Fire per turn. Okay. So, Fury of Fire is very useful for making Mirage Salio. You play Mirage Salio, and then you you play Fury of Fire, you get 2 level 3s back, you Exceed into Mirage Salio, summon another monster from your deck, then you set your Burning Shell and you attack directly, whatever. It's definitely not conducive to the typical Salamangreat strategy of trying to relink, because you can't relink. But I mean, you're playing Transcendence, maybe you just wait for the Transcendence. It's a card that you would draw, you would be praying to draw if you were in a top deck war and you were in a losing situation. But I don't think that you're going to be in that situation too often when you're playing Salamangreat. Still, I think the card is fine to play at 1. Paleozoic Dynamiscus. This is also in the box. Target one face-up card on the field, discard a card, and if you do, banish it. And then if you activate a trap card, then it comes back as a monster with 1,200 attack points, which I think you can't do that. Oh. Yeah, you can't even special summon this card from your graveyard as a trap, because you can't special summon monsters except Salamangreats. Okay, so yeah, it's literally just Karma Cut, which is fine. Divine Wrath. When a monster effect is activated, discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. This card can be acquired with box chips, and you have so many cards in your hand that Divine Wrath is a very useful card for making sure that your Salamangreats don't get messed with. Lastly, I am playing Power Sink Stone. This is a card that you probably should play at 3, to be honest, if you're going to play Power Sync Stone at all, which maybe you shouldn't. Each time a monster effect is activated, place 1 Spellstone counter on this card, max 2. While this card has 2 Spellstone counters, face-up monsters on the field cannot activate their effects, and their effects are negated. During each end phase, remove all Spellstone counters on this card. So, my thought process here is, you activate Power Sync Stone, your opponent summons 1 monster, and then they activate that monster's effect. You play your Transcendence, you link into Pyro Phoenix. Pyro Phoenix destroys the field, and then after that, all of your opponent's monster effects are negated. And that seems like it's a pretty fair situation for you to be in. So, yeah, I feel like Power Sync Stone is slept on a little bit for this deck. I think this card would be good at 3. So what would I change about this deck? I would say put Jack Jaguar to 1, Mirror to 1, Foul to 1. That gives you 3 cards. Add 1 Spinny. Add 2 Power Sync Stones. Yeah, it's solid. And then for the hand traps, you should probably play like 3 Effect Veilers. So cut these and these. Play 3 Effect Veilers and like 3 DD Crows, and to accomplish that, cut 1 Transcendence. You only need 1, and probably the Rising Fire. Yeah, that's the ideal deck, I think. Then, for the X deck, we are playing Salamangreat Mirage Salio. Rank 3, you can detach 1 material from this card, special summon a Salamangreat monster from your deck in defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn, except fire monsters. If this Exceed Summon card is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Salamangreat monster, you can target 1 monster on the field and return it to the hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, you Exceed Summon your Mirage Salio. You special summon a monster from the deck, it's going to be your Falco, and then you link it off and you get your Transcendence back. I've already explained this. But the main benefit of Mirage Stalio is that during your opponent's turn, you can activate your Burning Shell that you got for free, which lets you special summon a Salamangreat from your hand, and then link summon on your opponent's turn. So you link your special summon monster, your Mirage Stalio, and your Sunlight Wolf into your first Pyro Phoenix, and then your Mirage Stalio will then bounce one of your opponent's cards. That means that your opponent now has to try and deal with your first Pyro Phoenix without too many resources, and meanwhile you're sitting on Transcendence and you're sitting on Balinks in your graveyard to protect, and potentially other traps like Divine Wrath. So I feel like this is just too much disruption for most people to deal with. The Mirage Stalio, along with the Pyro Phoenix, and the Pyro Phoenix not coming out until after you've already played your Burning Shell, is just, it's a lot. It works out pretty well. Speaking of Pyro Phoenix, Link 4, 2800 attack, 2 effect monsters. If this card is link summoned using Pyro Phoenix's material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. You can only use each of the following effects of Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix once per turn. You target 1 link monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your opponent's field. If a link monster is special summoned to your opponent's field except during the damage step, you can target 1 of those monsters and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's original attack points. Hilarious. Burn and pop everything. Perfect card. We are playing Boral Sword Dragon, which requires at least 3 effect monsters as a link 4. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target 1 attack position monster, change it to defense position. Also, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Your opponent can activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. And once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate this effect. Until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to half that monster's current attack, and if it does, that monster's current attack is halved. This card is very difficult to make because Salamangreat of Fire firelocks you, so don't play this card. Cross out the Boral Sword Dragon, play another Heatleo, because I only have 1. Heatleo, 2 or more fire effect monsters. If this card is link summoned, you can target 1 card in your opponent's spawn trap zone, shuffle it into the deck. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card was reincarnated, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field and 1 monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first becomes equal to the other until the end of the turn. So Heatleo lets you target 1 of your opponent's monsters, and then its attack becomes equal to Mole's attack, and it's 0, and you just win the game. So that's another reason to play Mole, because we don't have Almirage yet, so Mole having 0 attack points is actually very good for you because of Heatleo. Borreload Dragon, same thing. We can't make this card under Salamangreat of Fire, and we are typically trying to end the game the turn that we play Salamangreat of Fire. So this card is not useful. Play... Man, we really don't have that many fires, do we? I don't know what you would play instead of this. Oh, there's a link to Fire Cybers that's that gives link monsters attack points. Hold on. Where is it? This one. Flame Administrator. Link to Fire Cybers monster. All link monsters you control gain 800 attack points. You can only control one of these. Okay, there you go. That's the card that you would make. Play that instead of Borreload. Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze requires 2 monsters, including a fire monster. You can target 1 fire monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your zone this card points to. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, while in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 fire monster with 15 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Hita is really good if the opponent has Ash. Ash is not currently in the game. But while Salamangreat, Balan Boxer, and the Gemini deck are out, they're all brand new. People are going to be playing them a lot, so Hita has a lot of targets right now. I do think you should play Hita for right now. And then lastly, Doolittle Chimera. 2 fire monsters. All fire monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. Water monsters lose 400 attack and defense. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 fire monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So, just a safe card to have. It's a good way to get space on the board. It buffs your board. Who can say no to that? So it's a fine card to have at 1. All right. And then, of course, you have Balinx and Sunlight Wolf, which I guess I should cover. Balinx and Sunlight Wolf. When Balinx is link summoned, it's link 1. The skill adds 3 copies of Balinx, 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf to your hand. Balinx is link 1, level 4, so lower cyber sponsors. If this card is link summoned, you add Salamangreat Sanctuary to your hand. And if a Salamangreat card you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Sunlight Wolf. 2 fire effect monsters. If a monster is normal or special summoned to the zone this card points to, you can add 1 fire monster from your graveyard to your hand, but you cannot normal or summon it or set it. I don't know. It says you cannot normal set or special summon monster with the added monster's name, but I don't know how would they stop you from setting them. Like, I understand that the game will stop you from setting that, but it's weird that they would put that restriction on there when they can't guarantee that you set a monster that you added. During your main phase, if you control this card that was link summoned using Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf as material, you can add 1 Salamangreat spell trap from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay. Alright, there you go. That's the deck. Alright, let's take a look at the replay. Okay, we are going second against Borrel. Our hand is Salamangreat Spinny, Fury of Fire, Salamangreat Mirror, and Droll Lockbird. Our opponent activates their skill. Reveal the Double Disruptor Dragon, add the Meteor Black Dragon, and pitch 2. Activate Melody of the Awakening Dragon, discard the Double Disruptor Dragon to add Blue Eyes, and Odd Eyes Advance. Okay, we're going to activate Droll and Lockbird's effect since the opponent added a card from their deck to their hand. Now we stopped both players from adding cards from their deck to their hand for the rest of the turn. That means that the opponent cannot use Double Disruptor Dragon's effect anymore. Meteor, pitch. They had to pitch from hand, which is pretty rough. Galactic Spiral comes back. He gets to use the skill to play Quad Whirl Dragon because there's a card in my graveyard now. That's fair. Alright, link the Quad Whirl and the Meteor into the Flash Charge Dragon. Then he's going to banish 3 from his graveyard. Special summon the Chaos Dragon Levianeer to return 1 card from my hand to my deck, which is going to be my Fury of Fire. And it's my turn. Okay. Alright, we drew Salamangreat Sanctuary, which is a huge brick. We could easily get this card, so we are, like, super behind. We basically only have 1 card in our hand at this point. But we're going to try and play the game anyway. So we activate the skill, we pitch Spinny. Spinny can special summon itself from the graveyard anyway, so it doesn't matter that it's in the graveyard. And we add Salamangreat of Fire and the Burning Shell to our hand. the 6 cards to our extra deck. Then we're going to set the Jack Jaguar face down. Now, this is not a special summon, and when we flip summon it, Flash Charge Dragon can, once return if a monster is normal or special summon to a zone this card points to, you can destroy one monster this card points to, and if you do, inflict 250 damage to your opponent. Flip summoning is not normal or special summoning, so we're fine. Normal summon the Salamangreat Fire, draw the Gazelle, link off, make the Balinks, Gazelle special summon to the zone that Flash Charge does not point to, mill the Foxy, then we're going to link into Sunlight Wolf. We activate Spinny's effect from the graveyard, special summon Spinny to Exceed summon. We special summon, we don't have any room left, so we special summon to a zone Flash Charge points to. He's going to activate Flash Charge's effect to destroy it, but we have the Balinks in the graveyard now, so we can just banish it to protect. Exceeds into the Mirage Stallion. Mirage Stallion, detach 1, special summon the Mole, activate Burning Shell, special summon the Mirror from our hand, link all 4 into Pyro Phoenix. Then we activate Sanctuary and we relink. Reincarnation, link summon the Pyro Phoenix. When Pyro Phoenix is reincarnation, link summoned, it destroys all cards the opponent controls. 28, 22, game. There you go. So Borreload is a pretty decent deck right now. We were able to stop them thanks to Droll and Lockbird. They didn't manage to summon a good board, and we won the game. My name is Strophy, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.